So my style is the pursuit of a single desire. That's the desire of the title. Is the nature of the human mind. The maxim is that science is in the details. Okay. Now, what is this question? For me, this question is, how can mind occur in the human mind occur in the physical universe? We now know that the world is governed by physics. We now understand the way biology nestles comfortably within that. The issue is, how will mind do that as well? And the second part of this is, this answer must have the details. I've got to know how the gears clank and how the pistons go and all the rest of that detail. That's that question, Brian. It's not the same as a bunch of other questions. For instance, it's not the same as what is the nature of intelligence. That is the AI question. And although I have been associated with AI for a large part of my life, that's not the question that drives me. This is the question that drives me, and they're not the same. It's not the Simon question, which is essentially, this is kind of an abbreviated version to get it into a single line. How does bounded rationality explain all of human behavior? It's not the same question as that, although, of course, those questions are close enough so that Herb and I have managed a collaboration for 40 years. But in fact, it leads me, my question leads me down to worry about the architecture. It leads Herb to worry about other areas of human life and how to explain them in terms of bounded rationality. It is also not the issue of the nature, or it's not the issue of the mind-body problem. That's the philosopher's question. Now, they may have the same answer. It may be that the answer to my question and the answer to their question is the same. But it turns out, of course, that my question is a simple scientific question. It may be an ultimate one and hard to get at, but it is a scientific question. And the mind-body is not. It's a philosophical question. And in fact, if the mind-body were cast as a scientific question, all the philosophers would do different things than they now do about it. They'd go up in the laboratory, for instance. But it's also not, what is the nature of the brain? That's another question which may have exactly the same answer, mostly because there's really only one answer out there, all right? The same answer, but in fact, if this was the question, I would be doing things very different than the way I'm doing them. Now, you do need to realize, if you haven't before, that there is this sort of collection of ultimate scientific questions, and if you're lucky enough to get grabbed by one of these, that will just do you for the rest of their life. Why does the universe exist? When did it start? What's the nature of life? Why is evolution so stable? All of these things are questions of a depth about the nature of our universe that they can hold you for an entire life, and you're then just a little ways into them. It's not
So thanks, everyone. It's amazing to be here, and thanks to Sang-Wan, my friend from MIT, inviting me. And I've been wanting to come visit KAIST for a long time because I've heard of so much great work that goes on here, and all the brilliant students and all the work that you do. So it's very exciting to be here. I'm also very excited to be in South Korea in general because of seeing the excitement and energy for AlphaGo and AI research and for the game of Go. So it's a real pleasure and honor to be here. So I wasn't expecting quite so many people. I was expecting it to be a normal academic lecture. So I'm going to talk to you today about really an overview of what DeepMind does. So, of course, I will talk about AlphaGo and give you some technical details, and you can ask me some questions about that. But then also I want to talk to you about the rest of the work that we're doing, because AlphaGo is very important. We have an amazing team on AlphaGo of about 15 people, but DeepMind is actually more than 200 people, so scientists. So actually it's only about 1/10 of the work we're doing at DeepMind. So let me start by saying, of course, AI is the science of trying to make machines smart. And I'm sure many of you are involved in AI and machine learning here. So DeepMind, as Sang-Wan said, was founded 2010, and we joined forces with Google in 2014. And we did that to try and turbocharge our mission to solve artificial intelligence. So how do we think about DeepMind? Well, we think about it as kind of like an Apollo program effort for AI. So as I said, there's more than 200 research scientists now. We're based in London, and we're growing all the time. But the other thing we're experimenting with So I just wanted to say a little word about neuroscience. I don't have time to talk about this too much, but my PhD was in neuroscience. My undergrad was in computer science. And we try and combine both those two areas at DeepMind. So we're very interested in systems neuroscience. We're quite interested in systems level. So that means the algorithms and the representations and the architectures the brain uses, rather than the specific implementation details of synapses and cortical columns. So it's this kind of higher computational level that we're very interested in. And the reason we